G'day everybody, welcome to the local footy podcast where we find out all that's going on in the world of local footy across the great nation of Australia. Send us all the info too, we can't be across everything, so help us out a little bit and send us all the information we need to know to give you the latest in local footy. It's all thanks to our team at Premier Data, who are outstanding supporters of local footy across the nation. And I'll tell you what, they've been busy the first couple of weeks because there have been some numbers racked up by some of the athletes across the nation. And we talked last week on the program about former Magpie champ Brent Macaffer, who's playing in the Northern Footy Netball League last week. And he had a game of 64 possessions. Now, it's the second highest ever tally that Premier Data has ever recorded, which is pretty disappointing, really. So we thought we'd get him on to find out why he couldn't go number one. Brent Macaffer, welcome to the local.
How are you, mate? Thanks for having me on.
64, mate. 64.
Yeah.
Couldn't quite get 66, by the way, is the record. 66 wasn't on offer, or did you shut down the Jets a bit early?
No, it was definitely on offer, but I had my captain pull rank on a couple of kickouts, mate. So if I had known at the time what I was on, I would have been sprinting as hard as I can when the behind was kicked, but not to be. I'll settle for second.
So how many of those, just for the people at home, were kickouts of those 64?
I think there was 7 or 8.
Right.
I think. So,
right, okay.
As I said, and there was about another 5 or 6 that other boys took. So, as I said, if I had my time again, I would have gobbled up all of those.
So when did you know it was going to be one of those days? Because like if you've got 10 in the first quarter, 15 in the first quarter, I don't know how many you had, you must be starting to think, right, I'm having a good day here.
Yeah, to be fair, I honestly didn't know. I thought coming off the game, off the ground, maybe 40. Like I just get caught up in the game and you don't really know. But my old man was there watching the game and he lives up at the Grampian. So I think it comes down to maybe 1 or 2 games a year. So I walked off and he came over to me and goes, good game, son. Got you down for 63. And I thought, okay, I know you're my dad. You don't have to put that much money on it. Thanks, mate. And then the Prem Data stuff, whenever it came out on the Monday or whatever, my phone just started going off with stuff. So I'm like, all right, something's going on. He had a look at it. And so I went back, watched the game, watched the replay. And I was very surprised myself. You don't expect that. So, yeah.
It's a big day at the office. Now, do we work out whether you won or lost that game?
No, we did lose. We lost by 5 goals. We're up by a couple of goals just before 3/4 time and got run over by a good Mernda outfit. So, a bit of a waste. Would have been a lot better if it was in a winning side.
Yeah, much better story when you win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think everyone sort of started popping me when they found out that I lost. That they're all cheap, sheepdog, ineffective disposals. So that's the feedback.
Fairness, we gave you a bit of a clip last week on the.
I heard, mate. I did. I'm not going to lie. I did tune in, so I appreciate that. I loved it.
Just a Macaffer or bus type situation there at Epping. Is that how it's going to be all year?
Well, it hasn't worked so far. Although we did win on the weekend, so
there we go.
So we go.
How many on the weekend for you?
Heavy tag, which I think you guys and everyone else has preempted. So, but managed to scrounge my way to 32. I think
that's not bad. Now you're 38 years of age. A, how come you're still playing? And B, how do you get up every week when you got people hanging off you?
It's a great question. My wife wants to know why I'm still playing. She thought it'd be long done 5-6 years ago, and she's not a massive footy fan. So I just really enjoy it. I love it. It's something to look forward to every week. It's a bit of routine in your weekly structure and schedule. There's nothing better than being around a football place and the laughs and the banter. And we've got a pretty young side this year, which is good. Helps you feel young. I've got kids that enjoy coming and watching. My dad gets down to games, and my mum still comes and tries and watches every game she can. So, there's nothing better than local footy, I reckon.
How old are the kids?
Kids are 9, 7, and 5. So they're at that age.
In the sweet spot.
Yeah, they're in that sweet spot where they understand what's going on. They're really getting into it and enjoying it, and come down and wear their jerseys to the game and kick the ball at half time and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, good ages.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you remember those days as a kid? Was that part of your childhood?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, the first time I went down and watched my dad play footy. And, even when he was playing, senior footy going on, and I'd play junior footy and he was still running around playing, when he was 45, 50, playing in the reserve. So you ask him, I've still got another 6, 7 years to go, unfortunately.
Well, there's Super Rules around the corner too, mate, so it's not too far away.
Yeah, as I said to you off air, I'm overqualified.
You're very overqualified.
Might come over and around, I reckon.
Now, I want to talk about what's happening, obviously, currently in the Northern Footy Netball League and your role, your time in that and where you've been since your AFL days. But I wouldn't mind exploring a bit more about the background and your local footy club. When you grew up, you're a Gippsland boy.
Yep.
Played the Gippsland Power in the under-18s. before you got drafted in the rookie draft. What local footy club was it?
So Kilcunna-Bass, the Panthers was my junior team. So down towards Phillip Island, you go past it, one of those towns in the blink of an eye. There's nothing there other than a footy oval. There was a pub. I think they've upgraded. They've got a McDonald's now as well.
Oh, wow.
So played my junior footy down there. That was about 15, 16. Before that, I was down at a town in Hayfield. Lee Brown's from down there, and he's down there currently coaching. So that were my two junior clubs growing up.
Yeah, and was it always something you just love being around footy club? Was it the sport or was it the club environment?
I was obsessed with sport footy. It was cricket in the summer like most kids, bit of basketball thrown in there. Mum wouldn't let me play football till I was 11 or 12 and had to wear the helmet. It was that type setup. And even now she's still so scared I'll get hurt all the time. So, but I was just one of those kids that was just absolutely obsessed with it and wanted to be a footballer when I grew up. That was all I ever wanted to do, and was lucky enough to do it.
And you got through the pathway at Gibby Power, and you drafted in the rookie draft. So you had to wait a little while. Didn't quite come as, most kids want the national draft in their 18th year. Didn't quite happen for you. Did it spur you on? Yeah,
it was interesting for me. I was a fair introvert when I was growing up and like to sort of stay in my comfort zone around my mates. So under 16s year, I dropped out of the Gippsland Power, and then my bottom age under 18s only played a couple of games. So I was a bit of a late bloomer, I suppose you'd say. Once I got a bit of confidence, got familiar with my surroundings, and then back end of my draft year, I took off and started playing some good football. Paul Hudson was my coach. Threw me down to full forward at Gippy Power and had a real good year, kicked a lot of goals. And I suppose that was probably the thing. A lot of clubs hadn't really seen me, and I was definitely undersized as playing at full forward. That wasn't going to be my spot going up to those professional levels. So Collingwood took a punt on me and, managed to scrounge out a career there.
Yes, well, scrounge out's probably underselling it a little bit. Now 77 games, but a premiership in 2010.
Yep.
So people play 300 and they don't get a premiership. You've done it in 77, so it's a pretty good effort.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take that. There's some absolute champions of the game that I've never won a flag or anything like that. So to hang around on the list for 10 years and get a premiership and something we celebrate every year, which is good times. So
what were the main takeaways from your career at Collingwood? What did you walk away with?
I'll walk away. The first thing that comes to mind is just some great lifelong friendships, and I suppose winning a premiership is a massive part of that. As I said, we do a reunion every single year and get together, and it's like we've never been away from each other. And it's 16 years on now. The WhatsApp group chats is as up and about as it ever has been. So it's the friendships, the life lessons you take along the way. The ups and downs, and taking those out into the real world.
So how old were you when you retired? Were 28?
I was 28. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's relatively young.
Yeah, I'd had 3 knee reconstructions and some injuries along the way that didn't help with fractured back and foot and stuff like that at times. So I knew towards the end I couldn't jump anymore. I couldn't run. So the writing was on the wall going into my last year. So 28 when I finished up, and then lucky enough to stay around the club for a few years in a player welfare role, which was really good to see the other side of footy, which is interesting at times. 13 years all up at a club, which I really enjoyed.
So when did the first phone call come from a local club to get you to play? Once your AFL career was over, the phone starts ringing pretty hot for players like you.
They come quick. They get it. They get wind of it, and the phone starts coming. But something which I'm glad I did. I always wanted to do was go back to one of my junior clubs, which was Kilcunna-Bass. So, I caught up with them pretty quickly and said, they asked, "Are you interested?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So that was good. So I did that for a year. Went back and played there. So. Yeah, glad I did that.
What about the adjustment going from the AFL, which is a pretty full-on, all-consuming environment, to Kilcunna-Bass, which I imagine it's 2 nights a week. We might see you in a pre-season if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And then Saturday nights after the game. What's that environment like from the big time?
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. You go from Collingwood, arguably the biggest sporting club in Australia, to little old Kilcunna-Bass, which is not much there. A couple of cows and some paddocks. So, a massive adjustment, but great fun. And as I said, being my junior club, you go back there and you can see how much it meant to people. Local sport to country clubs it's everything. It's their weekends. It's it's their whole year really. So to go back there and it's different footy, that's for sure. The grounds, you get a rainy day and it's full of mud and all that sort of stuff, and you're training Tuesday, Thursdays, and it's pouring down rain. It's a lot different. You get a bit of a reality check and a bit of a welcome back to country footy and all that sort of stuff. So, but it's unreal. I love it. It's why I'm still playing now.
Yeah. Did you feel pressure to go back and be the star?
100%. I still feel it now. Like I still get nervous before games thinking, can I still get a kick and all that sort of stuff, and a bit of feedback over the fence and a bit of extra attention from blokes on a Saturday. But I enjoy it, and if I try not to give it back as much as I get, but I can't help it sometimes.
Oh, no, give it back, mate. They're coming for you. Give it back.
I can't help it.
You got a premiership medallion, mate. You can do what you like. You can say what you like, I reckon. Was it always something you were going to do, play local footy afterwards? Because I've played with a lot of guys who say that when they retire, that's it. They've spent their tickets. They don't want to go back and hurt their body and challenge their body anymore. And mentally, they're more fatigued than anything. Was it always something you wanted to do? Yeah,
I just really enjoy playing football. It's just so ingrained in me now that that's just the part of my routine that I want to keep playing for as long as I can. And it's funny, you get there's two sorts of people, isn't it? There's ones that finish, they're done, blow out, and that's it. They've had enough of it, don't want to ever do it again. And then there's the others that they'll just keep going and playing and training or doing something until their bodies physically can't do anymore. And I reckon I'm probably going to be that one. The body's hurting, but the mind is willing, and just really enjoy it, being around a football environment.
So you talked about Kilcunna Bash. You spent a lot of years in the Northern Footy Netball League. You spent 4 years at Eltham.
Yep.
You spent a year at the Turtles, the old Eltham Collegians, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
And then now at Epping. And in between there was Tooradin Delmore.
Yeah.
A couple of years. How'd you get to Tooradin Delmore?
So
away from Eltham.
Yeah, interesting. So Tooradin, it's not too far from Kilcunna Bash Phillip Island. It's in that same league. Yep. So I had a couple of my best mates. So I've been at Eltham Panthers for 4 years, living in Eltham. So that just made sense to play there.
Yep.
And then I had a couple of mates, two of my best mates playing at Tooradin, and I thought, geez, it'd be good to, on the back of COVID, it'd be good to go and play with a couple of my best mates and, sort of tick that box. So I went down and did that, and we won a premiership there as well. So,
awesome.
And I've got my in-laws live in Tooradin. My mum's in Pakenham, which is only 10 minutes from there. So there's a few things there that was just too good to pass up, and really glad I went and did it.
So when you do that and you've done the thing with your mates and you want a flag, is it easier to leave and go somewhere else, or is it harder?
I think it's a bit of, you could look at it both ways. I think because we ticked the box, we won a flag, but then a couple of them were going to take off overseas and go travel and stuff as well. So, and I've got 3 kids as well, so the travel as well from Eltham to Tooradin as we talk about the Tuesday, Thursday nights, and Mrs. She's not a great lover of football, so when I'm getting home Tuesday, Thursday nights at 10:30 at night after training, and then I'm out all day Saturday, okay, you can come play closer back to home, thanks. So,
okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so I'll blame her.
So the Eltham experience, how much fun did you have at Eltham? Because it's a great footy club, has been a famous footy club of the Northern Footy Netball League for a long, long time. How much fun did you have there? Oh,
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. There are guys there that are lifelong mates that I still catch up with. A place that my wife's made lifelong mates as well. So we still live there. A lot of us got kids coming up that are all going to be friends and stuff like that. I can't speak highly enough of that football club. That'll be a place, I reckon, down the track that I'll call home.
Yeah, and so the kids will play there probably?
Hopefully, yeah, absolutely. I'm still trying to really get them into it. It's a bit of a battle at the moment, which is I don't understand, because football sport is on 24/7 in my house, and trying to get them to sit there and watch it is a real battle. So.
And what about the competition? In the league, how strong's that been through your time?
Yeah, so where I'm at now, Epping, we're in Division 3, but Jesus, some household names getting around in that. There's Aaron Edwards, Levi Greenwood. I think last year we had Neville Jetta, Ricky Dyson still running around there. So there's some good names getting around. Division 1, where Eltham Panthers are now. I reckon the Northern Footy League Div 1 would be one of the best leagues getting around, and have one of the best teams going around in Heidelberg, who are going for their 5th straight flag in a row, I reckon.
Yeah, they are.
I don't think anyone's going to stand in their way. So it's a good standard.
And are you chasing that ever again to go back to the top level?
Oh, God, no. No way, mate. No, mate. I'm lucky. I can't train Tuesday nights. Thursday nights, I'm lucky to get just to a trot. No mayo. It takes me the full 7 days to be right to go again. So absolutely no chance.
Take me through Thursday night at Epping. What happens?
Yep.
Because it's the big night, selection night.
Yep.
Everyone comes together. Take me into the rooms at Epping after training.
Yep. So it's a young crew. I reckon it's no different to most footy clubs. Yeah, it's the best night of the week. Thursday nights, where it's chicken parmas on the menu or whatever it is, burgers, whatever's been in. There's selection night. There's the weekly fines, that are up, or spin the wheels for anyone that's mucked up or got up to some antics on a Saturday night that is worthy of being called out. Can be pretty full on some of the stuff that gets mentioned, but it's just a fun night. Supporters come down, you got your sponsors, your committee members, all that sort of stuff. So there'll be footy on in the background. Everyone's having their dinner, a couple of beers for those that want to have a beer. And there's a lot of people that probably aren't leaving there till 10:30 hanging around there. So it's a great vibe, great feel.
So that comes back to that community stuff you were talking about before and Kilcunda Bass and the importance of local sport, but in our case, local footy, and the connection it brings for everyone from all walks of life into that one place, in that one community in that one time. It's a pretty special thing. Have you had a bit more perspective about that since you've been back playing local footy? Yeah,
100%. And the older you get and realise that you're closer to the end, you realise how special it is. And some of these volunteers and people that are down there, I mean, they've been down there for majority of their lives from when they were a kid, and they're doing it all for nothing.
Yeah.
Most of them, they're doing it for nothing. They're the first ones game day that are there. They're the first ones they're training on. And they're the last ones to leave and doing it all for nothing. So it's special places made up of a lot of special people.
So it's not a question without notice. Who's the biggest personality at one of the clubs you've played, the off-field, biggest personality off-field that is that sort of person, that volunteer who sets up, helps out, sells the canteen stuff, whatever. Who's the biggest personality you give a shout out to?
Yeah, there's a couple for me. So one at Eltham Panthers, Johnny Smith, who's...
Johnny Smith, of all the names.
I know, believe it, I know. You can't make this stuff up. I know. That's his name, Johnny Smith, and he lives for the club. Anything the club needs, he goes and does it. I was speaking to him on the weekend. He just bought because someone made an off-the-cuff remark that they want to get into golf. So the next week he'd gone out and bought him a set of golf clubs. Like anything to make them feel better, anything the club needs, he, out of his own pocket, forks out, does it all. He'll be out there marking the chalk on the boundary.
Yeah.
He really shouldn't be doing it, but he's doing it. So that sort of stuff. So and every club would have someone like that.
Shout out to Johnny Smith. By the way, I'm thinking about taking up golf, Johnny, if you want to buy it from the clubs.
Down at Epping, Gary Johns, who's great to me, does the ice baths, all that sort of stuff for me, and I reckon he only does it just for me as well. So, but he's takes the piss out of you at the same time and all that sort of stuff too. So they're probably two I'll give a shout out to.
Yeah, cool. That's great news. Does the ice baths?
The ice baths, mate.
Is it the old wheelie bin type scenario?
It's a little bit of an upgrade on that. It's a circular type setup, more of a tub.
Yeah,
but just to bring in all the ice, fill it up, run it, empty it. He mops the showers, the change rooms, the bins, all that sort of stuff, and just does it with a smile on his face. But as soon as you rock up, he's straight up to you with a big smile. G'day, Caff, how are you, mate? All that sort of stuff. So,
good.
Yeah.
Well, who's got the best home ground fans, home game fans of all the teams you've played with?
When you say best home ground fans, you mean the most vocal?
Or the biggest, the loudest, the most passionate? Nah, the home ground, the ones that you've played for, the teams that you've played for.
Yep.
The ones that love you.
Who's got the biggest?
Biggest and best and most passionate and energetic. You love playing in front of.
The Panthers were fantastic. The setup there on the hill, since they've had the rooms done, was just unreal. It's got the train goes through and goes off. Guys would have experienced it when they're commentating and stuff like that. So that was a great ground to play at. Who up Mernda from a hang shit on you type feel. Good. I was warned about Mernda when I came back, and they didn't disappoint. Got some good feedback, but all their players are good lads. So yeah, they spring them on.
And I'm going to put you under a fair bit of pressure here, and there'll be plenty of people watching, and we'll give you plenty of feedback about this, I'm sure. Of all the players you've played with in local footy, they all lined up against the wall, schoolyard style, who are you taking with your number one pick? Who are you taking? Now, this is enormous pressure.
This is a massive one.
Now, I shouldn't do this to you, but I'm going to. Who are you going to take number one of all of your teammates in local footy?
Oh, okay. There's two that come to mind. So one is Tom Keys, who I played against. He was at Lower Plenty in Division 2, and he's won the last 2 league medals in Division 1, I think I'm right in saying.
Yep.
He'd be 6'4". He's not quick, but he's strong, he's smart, he's clean, and he's just a dominant force. And so him and Darcy Barden would be the other one. Who kicked 100 goals last year. He's just an absolute star. So they're my two.
Sister Millie at Carlton and Collingwood in the AFLW.
Well, there you go. Yep, those two for me.
Right, so did you play with both of those? Or?
I didn't play with them. I played against them.
Well, give me one that you played with. Give me
one that I've played with.
Yeah, one you played with. Yeah, your teammate.
Local football.
Give me your teammate number one pick. That's good for the opposition, number 1 and 2.
There'd be See, for right now, the best team I play with, probably Daniel Racklin, who's only 19. He's way too good for Division 3 football. He kicked 7-4 on the weekend and probably another 4 shots at goal that he didn't score with. But that kid could be anything. So, but he's very happy at Epping with all his mates there. So selfishly, I'd love to hold on to him, but he could be anything, that kid.
Right, we'll keep an eye out for him through the season. We'll keep his numbers at Premier Data.
Yep, give him a look.
Very much front and square. What about the lifestyle? I mean, you talked about the kids. You're playing footy.
Yep.
I've got a job as well. I detect. So the shirt there, it's looking magnificent. How do you balance it all?
Yeah, it's tough. The schedule's very, very hectic. The wife works full time as well. So the kids play sports. So we've got kids soccer is Monday, Wednesdays, one place Saturday morning, one place Sunday morning. They do gymnastics Friday night. I try to squeeze in some footy training Tuesday, Thursday, and then the wife tries to get to the gym and do something as well. And then obviously play football Saturday over. So there's not a lot of downtime, but that's where grandparents and family help is really called upon. But the grandparents give us a chop out. They're heading off overseas soon. So ask me again the back end of the year how we're going. And this could be the end of footy coming soon, mate.
This could be your last primetime interview as a player.
This is it, mate. So I'm going to cash in.
What about being a tagger or a player who used to run with players in the AFL and shut them down, and now you're being the guy that's getting tagged? How do you deal with that mentally?
Yeah, I've got a lot of empathy for those guys that I wouldn't play on. That's for sure. It absolutely sucks. Copped a good one on the weekend too. So yeah, it's a massive turnaround, a bit of karma, some may say, but yeah, it's tough when you get older, but it's good fun. The guys come and play on you, like it's trying to have a bit of a laugh with it, and I suppose it's in some way a bit of a pat on the back that you're still going okay and getting a kick. So
yeah, absolutely.
I don't mind it, but look, would I prefer to not have one and go out and enjoy my footy on a Saturday? Absolutely.
Yeah, fair enough too. Who are we playing this week? The Penguins.
This week we've got Watsonia, Big Cam Cloak, who plays for them. He kicked a big bag of 9 on the weekend as well. So he messaged me last night and said it's his 300th, and he's what did he tell me? He came up with a good stat. He's needs 14 to get him to 900. So he reckons that's got a nice sound to it. So he's if you could take it easy on me, that'd be good. So
he reckons he's going to get one game against you guys?
Well, that's what I took from that comment. So he reckons he's a chance. So I'll be speaking to the coach and we'll be dropping a few back, I reckon.
Is that home or away?
It's there at Watsonia too. So,
where are they playing? Because
I don't know. Yeah, the ground was getting.
Bypass.
Yeah, it was. I've got no idea where that we're playing. No idea.
Yeah, right. Oh well, make sure you check it out Thursday. Make sure you get the sheet from the coach. Who's coaching, by the way, at the Penguins?
So Brad Hollow, we've got who's coaching. So he had a decorated career playing VFL football. And a bit of a legend down at Epping as well. So I think it's his 3rd or 4th year there at the helm. So different group to last year. We've got a young group, a lot of juniors back at the club. So awesome. bit of a rebuild phase.
Well, with a legend like yourself leading the charge, mate, they'll be coming through very fast.
Half. Very fast.
If you're keeping it 64, we'll be talking about you a lot here on The Local, mate. Great to see you. Love that you're still involved in local footy, and I wish you nothing but the best for the rest of the year.
Likewise, mate. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Brent Macaffer from the Epping Football Club, the Northern Footy Netball League against Watsonia this week. Check it out if you're in the zone and see the great man in action. We'll be back next time with more personalities on The Local.